Η Ελλανδική πρεσβεία προσπαθεί να φέρει τις δύο χώρες, την Ελλάδα και την Ολλανδία, λίγο πιο κοντά και βοηθάει στην πράξη ελληνικές νεοφυείς επιχειρήσεις. Tough period to be in Greece.
Yeah, but a very interesting period.
Interesting
a period of change also.
So, Orange Grove, how did you come up with the idea?
Well, one of the things, of course, that I saw in that 1.5 years is that, of course, there's quite a number of issues in Greece, but one of the most important issues for the future of Greece is what happens to the youth, to the young people. And so what we set up is a kind of an incubator, a place where people can work, where they can network, and where they can receive coaching and mentoring, and follow master classes and seminars about how to do business, how to start up a business.
But if I ever find another place, a better time, for that moment I was never what I...
So you provide for free all these seminars and mentoring and master classes?
But, well, there is a monthly fee, 100 euros, which is about the price of 2 coffees a day. And we think that's necessary also to make sure that the people that you get here are really serious. They really want to do this. So it's also a bit of a selection mechanism, and we use that money to invest it in the program again.
Who can apply? Who is eligible to apply?
Well, anybody that is a legal resident of the European Union.
Και ψάχνω χορηγό.
Ναι.
Πού πάω?
Σε εσάς. Έρχεστε σε εμάς και εμείς είμαστε αυτοί που έχουμε όλα τα connections με όλες τις εταιρείες. Επομένως προωθούμε τις κατάλληλες προτάσεις, τους αντίστοιχους εκπροσώπους των εταιρεών.
Τι είναι το Ποσειδόν?
Χρησιμοποιεί μια τεχνολογία που λέγεται augmented reality.
Αυτό είναι φοβερό. Μου το έλεγε ο κύριος πρέσβης πριν.
Ναι.
Επαυξημένη πραγματικότητα.
Augmented reality technology.
Ναι. Δηλαδή αυτό τώρα τι είναι για να καταλάβουμε και εμείς?
Είναι η κάμερα του κινητό σου.
Ναι.
Ή αργότερα που θα βγει, έχει την ίδια τεχνολογία που θα δουλεύουν και τα Google Glasses.
Ναι.
Στα οποία θα σου δίνει ό,τι βλέπεις σε real view, realistic view, διάφορες πληροφορίες pop-up.
Άρα θα κάνω το κινητό μου έτσι, θα βλέπει που είμαι,
ό,τι ακριβώς κοιτάει το κινητό σου θα σου έχει πληροφορίες ανάλογα με τα data που έχει φορτωμένο. Αν ας πούμε αυτός είναι ο φάρος της Πάρου και από εδώ είναι η Νάξο και δεν είναι vice versa. Ή από την άλλη μεριά είσαι στην βλέπεις Μύκο, ξέρω εγώ.
Τέλειο.
Θα σου δείχνει ξέρεις αργότερα.
Ποια είναι η διαφορά με ένα GPS? Δηλαδή όταν είμαι με το GPS που θα κάνω share location, που θα μου βρει...
Είναι 2D dimension, είναι ακριβώς ο χάρτης που βλέπεις. Ενώ το άλλο είναι ακριβώς τι βλέπεις εσύ μπροστά σου. Και αν είναι day, αν είναι night, ανάλογα.
Μάλιστα. Φοβερό, πότε θα είναι έτοιμο το application?
Θέλω να πιστεύω ότι αν σηκώσουμε τα χρήματα που είμαστε αυτή τη στιγμή και ζητάμε κυρίως από Έλληνες εφοπλιστές, γιατί...
Έχετε πάει, τους έχετε πει?
Όχι σε όλους, έχουμε κοιτάξει.
Άρα καλούμε όλους τους Έλληνες εφοπλιστές να στηρίξουν αυτή τη μεγάλη προσπάθεια.
Το καλό είναι ότι μας...
Πώς λέγεται, ξανά πες? Ποσειδόν.
Ναι, augmented reality.
Augmented reality.
Το καλό είναι ότι μας κάνανε μια πρόταση να πάμε το Φεβρουάριο στην Τουρκία σε επενδυτές.
Δεν θα πάμε να βρούμε στην Τουρκία, θα βρούμε στην Ελλάδα επενδυτές.
Ναι, χρειάζεται, αυτό είναι αλήθεια. Λέμε όλοι ξένους επενδυτές, αλλά αν δεν κάνουν και οι ίδιοι Έλληνες την επένδυση στην Ελλάδα.
Και ειδικά αυτό που έχει σχέση με θάλασσα που πολύ την αγαπάμε εδώ στην Ελλάδα. Greeks are trying to figure out how to get out of this mess, how to get out of this situation. What brought us here, was it pure economics or also a cultural thing in terms of are we lazy? Is it like a common misconception about Greek society? Or it is partly true that, you know, we were not used to like working so hard in comparison to other Europeans, for instance?
I don't know, but what I understand is that the numbers of hours worked per year in Greece are much higher than in a number of other European countries. So all these stereotypes is exactly what I do not like in this discussion. I think that objectively you can say that a couple of the incentives in Greek society were wrong to stimulate entrepreneurship. There was a very strong orientation to doing business with the government. There was difficulties when you wanted to set up something new. People were very much geared towards certainty, security, so they wanted to work either for government or for a big corporate. And the challenge that we face, because it's not just a Greek issue, it's also something that we have generally in Europe, is that we have to become more entrepreneurial.
If we don't embrace failure, though, as Europeans, we can't actually embrace entrepreneurship. Do you agree? If we don't, do you see a cultural difference between, for instance, the Europeans and the Americans, the way they deal with failure?
Definitely. There's a big difference there. And in the US, they say it's very normal to go bankrupt 7 or 8 times before you're successful. Here in Holland, we think it's terrible if somebody is, when bankrupt, he's a loser. Well, we should get rid of that type of mentality.
You're trying also to connect Dutch universities with the Greek society and vice versa.
I think you should approach this from a European angle. And the challenge is not whether one country goes better than the other. I think as Europe, we should try to collaborate, get the good thing.
Do we feel Europeans, or we feel more Greeks and Dutch and French and Swedish?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. Of course, we sometimes we feel like coming from our own village. That's often a strong sentiment. But I think,
and we also sometimes have an arrogance or an attitude towards the other village. You know, no matter where we come from, even if we come from Greece, we might have an attitude towards a Northern European country, and vice versa. Yeah,
well, but that's what we think is not productive.
But how can we tackle that?
Well,
how can we actually feel
Europeans things together, like what we're doing here? Try to have a lot of exchange. I think it also helps a lot that there's these young people traveling up and down. If it's real mobility, if they also come back with positive stories. So that's probably the way to do it. But on whether we should wear either Greek or Dutch or from one village or another, I think that if you ask an outsider, if you ask an American, they say you're typically European. They don't say you're Greek, you're Dutch or anything. They think we have something in common.
Η βασική ιδέα είναι ότι κάθε γυναίκα έχει το δικό της μοναδικό σχέδιο. Οπότε η ιδέα πίσω από το shop είναι ότι...
Αυτό είναι φοβερό, συγγνώμη που σε διακόπτω, πάρα πολύ ωραίο.
Δυστυχώς δεν μπορεί να...
Αυτό είναι το SK, γιατί το design SK.
Γιατί η φίλη μου η Ιωάννα που το σχεδίασε είναι δικό της, οπότε με σένα θα σχεδιάσουμε το δικό μας παπούτσι.
Καλά, εντάξει. Δηλαδή το σκεπτικό είναι ότι θα έρχομαι εγώ και θα λέω τι φαντάζομαι για παπούτσι. Και εσείς θα μου το φτιάχνετε.
Κάνουμε 3D scan τα πόδια και το δεξί σου πόδι είναι διαφορετικό από το αριστερό.
Άρα θα είναι και πολύ άνετα.
Θα είναι ακριβώς.
Τα φοράς, περπατάς και πετάς που λέγει και μια παλιά διαφήμιση.
Θα περπατάς και θα είσαι εσύ. Αυτό είναι το θέμα.
Question is a bit naive, but it's true. Many Greeks think that the Dutch people, they don't like us.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I don't know where it comes from. There's one thing that you should know, and you probably know, and that is that somehow the Dutch often volunteer to say things that others may think but choose not to say at that very moment. But the Dutch are often very straightforward, very open. And some Greeks interpreted that as they don't like us. But it's rather that we speak out our minds. Sometimes we're wrong, we are aware of that. But many Dutchmen love Greece. I mean, there's more than 500,000 tourists coming every year. We often have learned Greek at school, ancient Greek.
One of these days, the ground will drop out from beneath your feet.
Do you interact with the startups? Do you interact with the people that actually have the idea?
Definitely.
Do you have time?
Of course, yeah, no, and I try to be in Orange Grove as much as possible. Of course, I have other things to do as well, but I try to spend as much time as possible there. And that's actually one of the nicest sides of this. I didn't know that beforehand, but you meet a totally new group of people in Greek society, young people that are active, that are forward-looking, that believe that things can be done.